Netstat is a really useful command line tool used to show network connections. Netstat stands for Network Statistics, and it can be used to identify open ports and different connections with remote hosts. Netstat is available on pretty much every operating system, including Windows, macOS, and Linux. So what does Netstat actually do? Well, computers are always making, maintaining, and closing connections. These connections could be with printers, other computers on the network, web servers over the internet, or any number of things. And by using the netstat command, we can view the details of these connections. Let's look at this example. This computer has opened certbros.com. When it did that, it made a connection to the web server hosting that page. If we open a command line and run the netstat command, we will see this connection. The first column shows the transport protocol being used, so either TCP or UDP. The second column shows the computer's local IP address and the port number being used. Then we have the foreign address. This is the IP address of the remote host for this connection, in this case the certbros web server. This also shows the foreign port being used, and in this case it's a web server, so we're connecting using HTTPS, which is the port number 443. And the last column shows the state of this connection. Now there are several possible states, but the main ones are established for active connections such as this one, listen for computers that are waiting for a connection, and time wait, which is a temporary state after a connection has closed. Now let's add some more connections. Here we have a few more web connections on port 443, a printer connection, and a network attached storage or NAS device. As more connections are added, we see more entries in our netstat output. So as you're going through this video, hopefully you're taking some notes. If you're not, what are you doing? Write this stuff down. Now there are many ways to take notes, from old school pen and paper to the various web tools such as Google Docs, Evernote, and OneNote. Now the one I personally use and the sponsor of this video is Notion. Notion is, in my opinion, the best note-taking app by far, and it's completely free to use. When I'm learning a new topic or command, like netstat for example, I write it all down in Notion. I can even use the power of AI to help me write my notes. With the AI tool, I can automatically write blog posts, summarize my existing notes, or my favorite AI feature, automatically create outlines for my notes so I can go back and fill in. Once added, I can access these notes from any device anywhere in the world. This is perfect if I need to look up commands or notes when I'm at home, at work, or even on the road. Not only can you create notes, but you have the power to create entire wiki pages. You can manage your work and personal projects, and the list goes on and on. Notion recently announced Projects, a fully fledged project management system that you can use to manage your work projects, study plans, goals, or anything else that you want to keep track of. I've been using this to build my own professional roadmap to keep track of everything that I want to achieve this year. I have topics I want to learn, the technical certificates I want to achieve, some personal branding stuff, and the soft skills I want to improve. Here I can add due dates, priorities, next steps, and other columns to help keep me on track. So if you're not already using Notion to manage your notes and to track your tasks and goals, click the link in the description. Remember, it's completely free to use. The only exception to this is if you want to add more AI than the free allowance, in which case you can upgrade to the Notion AI for just $8 a month. They also have paid plans for those looking to use Notion to run their businesses with large teams, but that will not apply to most of you. Okay, back to the video. Okay, so that was the general idea of Netstat. Now let's jump into my computer and take a closer look. So it's worth pointing out that even though Netstat is available on Windows, Mac, and Linux, that the commands can differ slightly, and in this example, I'm going to be using Windows. So I'm going to start by opening up the command line And I'm going to run that as administrator because some of these commands will require the permission. So I'm going to right click, run as admin. Accept the prompt, move that over here. Then I'm going to simply type netstat and press enter. Now it's going to start to populate all of our connections. This will take a moment, so sometimes you need to be patient here. As we can see, we have some connections here, even though the computer doesn't seem to be doing anything. Now, this is a lab computer with nothing really running, so yours will likely have a hell of a lot more than what we see here. Now, this is because even though nothing obvious is running on this computer, connections are constantly being made in the background. An example of this could be the update services. So this is Netstat in its most basic form. To be honest though, we don't often run Netstat like this. And this is because it's incredibly slow to run. The reason for the slowness is because Netstat is trying to look up the host name for each individual host address. This lookup takes time, and often we're not really bothered with it anyway. So to solve this, we can use command options to customize our output. For example, if we wanted to see all the results of Netstat, but without having to convert the IP addresses to host names, we just type netstat-n. N stands for numeric, meaning we only want to see the IP addresses, not the translated host names. So if I press enter here, as we can see, that was a lot quicker. And now we only have the IP addresses, not the host names. There are loads of options we can add when it comes to Netstat to customize the output. Now let's look at the A option. So we'll type netstat-a. -A shows all connections and the ports this computer is listening on for incoming connection requests. By default, Netstat only shows active TCP connections. Using the -A option shows us everything. So if I press enter here, now we can see a lot more than before. Now we're seeing UDP and the port numbers we're listening on. Now let's say that instead of showing all connections or just the active TCP connections, we want to filter this by protocol. To do this, we can use the -p command. So I'll type netstat, click over here, netstat-p, and the -p lets us specify a protocol to include in our output, such as TCP, UDP, TCP v6, or UDP v6. So if I typed netstat-p, TCP, press enter, it's going to show me all of the TCP connections. Perfect. And if I press up on the arrow key and change that to UDP, I'll be able to see any UDP connections. And if I enter either TCP v6 or UDP v6, it will show us the IP version 6 connections. So another great option is the -b command. So if I go netstat-b, this option adds the name of the executable to the output. So if I were to press enter here, we can now see the program names under each connection. So there's lots of searchapp.exe here. This is great if we're trying to figure out which programs are responsible for which connections. And there is another option similar to the B command, which is -o. So if I type netstat-o, instead of showing us the executable file names for each connection, it shows us the unique process ID, also known as the PID for this connection. So if I press enter, we will see all of our connections and their process IDs. This is great if you're trying to troubleshoot a problem with a specific connection, because you might have multiple connections that are using the same executable, such as Google Chrome, for example. Because the process ID is unique, you can pinpoint this exact connection. and maybe even stop it if you want to. So if we were to look at one of these established connections, so 2600, if I open up the task manager, go over to the details tab, and we look for that number, we will see, quick order, SVC host is the one causing that connection. So if I were to close that, that would disappear from this list, but we won't do that now. Options are great because they let us customize our output. However, what makes them really powerful is when we combine the options. For example, if we wanted to see all connections, we can run netstat-a as we saw before. But we don't want this output to take forever. So we can add our trusty -n command to make sure that we're not trying to translate those host names. But you don't actually need to type it out like this. We can instead go -a-n for all and numeric. So if I press enter here, again, we're going to see all of the connections, but this time it's a lot quicker because we're not trying to translate those host names. So let's try another example. Let's say we want to list all of the connections, including the executable names and the unique process IDs. So we run netstat-b for the executable names. We can add O to include the process IDs. And let's not forget our trusty n command to make sure this doesn't take forever. Again, I'll press enter. And now we have a very quick command that shows not only the executable name, but also the local process IDs as well. This really is where Netstat commands become really useful and really powerful. Okay, so I want to give you one last command example. Now this one is a bit of an extra bonus because it's not like the others. If I clear off some of this. Now I say that because we're not actually looking at connections this time, and this option is very different from the rest. The option I'm talking about is the -r option. So if I type netstat-r, this is going to show us the routing table of this machine. So let me show you this. If I press enter, here we can see the routing table of this computer. Now this is really handy if you're a network engineer or if you're trying to troubleshoot a networking problem. Now at the top, if we scroll up, we see the interfaces for this machine. Then we see the IPv4 table. The first column shows the destination address, then the destination mask, the gateway, which is where to send the data to, and then we have the interface to send the data out of. As we can see, right at the top, we have a destination address of 0.0.0.0, which means any address. This is our default route. The gateway is 192.168.1.254, which is my router's IP address, and the interface is my local interface. Below the IPv4 routing table, we have the IPv6 table as well. Okay, so they are some of the most common command options and examples on how to use them. There are, however, more options that you can use with Netstat. To find a complete list of options, you can type netstat / on Windows to show the help information, or man netstat on Linux to see the help manual, including the different options available. So that is Netstat, a great little command to use to view all of your computer's connections. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment and subscribe. And be sure to sign up for your free Notion account down below. Other than that, thank you for watching.